Well, good morning everybody and welcome to that Kentuckessee Angler Show. This week our video begins at one of my favorite creeks. Now we're going to be hitting a couple different areas, targeting a variety of species, but I wanted to start out right here. It is the anniversary of my PB smallmouth I pulled out of this very creek. So lure wise, we're going to be working with a variety of paddle tails. They just get it done over here. We're starting out with a 2.7-inch divine swim bait on a 1/4 ounce jig head. Something I can just fling out here. I got some tubes for some short game. Basically, I'm using what works in this area, what works best. I know it very, very well. The water is still very high, so hopefully they're running. So I can tell a lot of people have been here over the weekend. Look at that footprint right there. That's ballsy, man. This water is very, very cold still. So if you're familiar with this channel, chances are you've seen me fish this area. If it's your first time, welcome. Pleasure to have you fishing with us. Glad to have y'all. Now, I'm gonna break it down real quick for you. Right here, we got a creek flowing in to a larger river. They fork right at this point. There's an abundance of cover, and this is one of the deeper areas on this body of water. All right, we're gonna have to run that high. That cover I'm talking about is sitting right there. You can kind of see some logs sticking up. It's actually a larger tree down there. So I wanna get right to the left of it. Anyhow, this area holds a wide variety of species. There are a ton of different fish in here. They're crazy healthy. This is some of the healthier water I have fished. And right down there, a few miles, this river runs into yet another river. It's just an all-around awesome spot. Cons, there's very limited bank space, as you can tell. When the water is lower, which it's very, very high right now, you can actually kind of walk around this, but still. Oh, there we go, fish on. Feels decent. Feels decent. What are ya? All right, she's shrinking. Getting some shrinkage. Maybe a white bass. Yeah. Not exactly what we're looking for, but she's a decent size. We'll take her. Thanks for being our first. This time of year, these white bass start pushing up in here, and I think the flood had a lot to do with it as well. Well, there we go, my friends. Our first fish of the day, a beautiful white bass, good eating size, hard fighter, and I'm thankful for you. Thank you very much. I'm seeing a lot of life in this creek. I have a feeling we're gonna catch a lot more today. Beautiful fish. Oops, sorry about that. And off she goes. So this creek is looking really, really lively. This is an awesome sign, a great start to the day. Let's see if we can pull us another one. As soon as I switched over to this fluke, you might be asking yourself, why are you wearing such a small hoodie? The truth is, it's shrinking over the years. This is the hoodie I caught my PB Smallie on, as well as my PP largemouth on it. It has some sentimental value to me. That's why I've hung on to it. I'm also drinking out of my lucky coffee cup. I try not to get too superstitious out here, but on the anniversary of my PB Smallie, I'm not taking any chances. I mean, with a river like this, there's a chance we don't even catch a smallie today. Try not to get my hopes up, but it's hard not to. I'm basically hitting the seam of this current, and there's an abundance of cover down there. Typically, this river doesn't rush as fast as it is today. It's very, very high. So who knows what's going to be biting the white bass. That's a good sign. If there's one, there's going to be more of those. Fish on. I think it's another white. Oh yeah. Oh no. Little bassaroni. Little bassaroni and cheese, and a decent one. Awesome start to the day, a fatty spot. Look at this chubby little spotted bass. Absolutely gorgeous. Those strong red eyes. You can tell it's a spot with this pattern right down here, how it's kind of checkered out. Also that bright white belly. You got the red eye, which is a pretty common genetic trait with these fish in my area. Beautiful, good size one. She looks really, really healthy. Thanks for biting. Species number 2. Oh, it's a good day. I needed a day like this, man. So we're making a jump just over the hill to this kind of slacker pocket down here. See if anything's sitting there. I've been fishing this area out for about a half hour. We pulled those 2 beautiful fish. And while I do think our chance of catching a bigger one's gonna be out of there, it would be a shame not to check out this stuff. Aha. This is a pretty dicey place to cast around. As you can tell, there's a lot of down trees. There's a lot of debris I don't even know about, probably here due to that flood. I'm gonna do my best to work it. I have a feeling probably our best bet at pulling something is from pulling it right out of here. Oh, fish on. Fish on. Come on in. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about, baby. That is what I'm talking about. Smallie. And a beautiful one. I mean, that's certainly not a PB breaker. My PB is 4 pounds and 14 ounces, which is actually really, really good for this area. Beautiful smallie, man. Look at the patterning on her. That is why I came out here today. Just take a look at her, my friends. She is absolutely gorgeous and a day maker for me. She's not huge, but she's a good size and a hard fighter. And on the very same bait, as soon as I switched over to that Divine 6 Cents paddle tail, yet again, I was throwing it earlier, couldn't catch anything, but that was a bait that I just absolutely hammer smallies on, that in tubes. Beautiful fish though. Let's get her back in. Great, great start to the day. I appreciate you. Don't tell your friends about me. We're retying really quick. Just on the off chance we pull something big out of here. Seems like that bite's really heating up. I noticed a couple frays in my line. See about yay much. Turning out to be a pretty awesome morning though. Tomorrow we're gonna go meet up with one of my good buddies and fish another creek. I'm imagining it's getting a lot of pressure, but it'll be fun to explore. A lot of leaves in this area. Fish on. Oh, good one, good one. At least it feels good right now. Oh, we're getting shredded out here. What are you? Another white bass. Yeah, they're stacked up in here today. I have another spot. I really haven't been fishing it that much this year. That just gets loaded with these guys. I'm talking like every other cast. They're fun to catch. I bet we can pull another one out of here. They're really, really hard fighters for their size, man. Oh my gosh. Dude. I very well could have been that leaf, but it felt like I had a strong bite before I snagged into that thing. Okay, there's like a huge snag right where I cast it. Get around it, get around it. I only have like 4 of these paddle tails on me and we're on one. What are you? A white. All right, man. All right. This side is providing. Pretty one. Well, we fished our lovely area out for a hot minute. Caught a good amount of fish there. A lot of white bass. A lot of little white bass. Before I take off today, before I get the day started, I wanted to throw a few more in this area. Fish on. Oh, feels decent. As soon as we fish up to a tube, smallie. And a beautiful one. This one's a little bit darker. I swear, man, these tubes are smallmouth candy. I lost a lot of casting range, but it's something different. I've been throwing that paddle tail for a minute. Beautiful fish. Well, there we go, guys. Smallie number 2, and an absolutely gorgeous one. Look at that speckling on her. Beautiful fish. What is up, everybody, and welcome to that Kentuckessee Angler Show. In today's video, we're hitting the creeks, hanging out with my good buddy Paul. Oh, I think you're in the camera frame. Yep, there he is. And hopefully catching some hard fighting creek fish during this spring transition time period, which can be tough. But without further ado, let's get our adventure started. So the stretch of creek Paul and I are fishing today gets a lot of pressure. It's very accessible to the public. We have a nice walking path right here. What I'm gonna do is try to get off the beaten path to get that skunk broken. Just upon our arrival and our walk out here, we've seen 3 different people fishing it, and it's a Tuesday, so you can imagine how hard this place got hit over the weekend. I'm sure it got an immense amount of pressure. So these kind of harder to get to spots, I mean, it's not necessarily hard to get to, but people don't think about coming here for the most part, are probably gonna be better today. Well, here we are, slightly off the beaten path, and hopefully at the first spot that's going to give us some fish. All right, everybody, we are starting out with our 1/8 ounce rooster tail in brown. It's got a little flash on it. This is going to catch just about anything in this creek. I brought a handful of baits. However, I wanted to start out with the great multi-species lure. There is a lot to catch in here. Oh, fish on. There we go, guys. What are we working with, man? I think it's a trout. Can't really tell. Beautiful rainbow. Well, since we're not taking her today, we're going to release her in the water. These are some delicate fish, or so I've been told. I got you. Slimy, man. Clean hook too. Awesome. These smaller rooster tails can be a pain in the butt. Beautiful. She's absolutely gorgeous, and I just took some major water in my boot. Thanks for biting, girl. And off she goes. First fish down, right off the beaten path. That's what I thought we needed. We threw some casts up stream a bit. A lot of people fishing it, couldn't get bit. Now we're picking them off with just a little bit of work, you know, thinking outside the box, getting to areas that other people don't typically fish. That was a beautiful little trout. We're gonna throw a couple more in this area, and then we're gonna move on. Gotta take advantage of the spots that don't look like they've gotten a lot of pressure. Oh yeah, there we go. Oh, another one. Another little bow. Oh, we found him. She's gorgeous. She's absolutely gorgeous. I'd say roughly around the same size. Let's just get her unhooked and get her gone. Thanks for biting. Looks like we found a little pocket of them. Very, very cool. And that's 2 fish and a couple casts. That's what I'm talking about. So ideally, I wanted to catch some bigger smallies, but I'm down with a couple trout. I mean, that's something different out here. These are all stock trout. Thinking if we change up lures, we'll probably be able to get some smallies on. Oh man, I just saw something flash. We're going right over him. It looked like a bass, like a nice one. There we go, fish on. Species number 2. I wonder if we can hit the trifecta today. That would be fantastic. There we go, my friends. A beautiful little tiny spot. Well, there we go, guys. Fish number 3 and an absolutely beautiful itty bitty juvenile bass. I'm gonna get her back in. We're gonna keep going at it. Thanks for biting, little buddy. Species number 2. Thought you were gonna jump for us. Man, this hole is lively. Well, awesome start to the day. We're gonna go meet up with Paul, see how he's doing, see how things are on his end, and try to find some more spots, maybe like this off the beaten path, try to get some more fish on. I'll take a look down here. So Paul and I have left the main trail, kind of going to our spot. It really hasn't been hitting to us lately, but it's just not really fished by people because it's a real pain in the butt to get to be honest. However, I think today this could be our saving grace. The water is just so crowded, as I've mentioned before. I mean, we've been catching fish. So now we're gonna fish some pretty much untouched creek. This stuff is really, really hard to get out to. As you can see, I mean, this water is just ice cold. Oh, I got one. I wasn't even paying attention, man. There's 2 of them. There's 2 of them. Beautiful. Beautiful little largemouth. Oops. There she goes. It's absolutely loaded. Is it really? Yeah. Fishing season's open. Oh, there we go. Something. Oh, I lost it. Oh wait, no, it's still on. It's super tiny. What is it? A little baby trout, or is it a chub? Yeah. Species number. I don't know. Oh man, I'm in a tree too. That's unfortunate. Yes, I think number 4. I don't know how these chubs always get all 3 trebles in their mouths. It blows my mind. Paul, I think this is like the coolest chub I've ever seen in my life. You gotta check this guy out. There we go. Well, check that guy out, everybody. He's kind of hard to show off without him wriggling out.
Oh yeah, he's got some really cool markings on him. Yeah,
that's a chub, right?
Yeah, sure is. Yeah. Nice.
Probably one of the coolest chubs I've ever seen. On the rooster tail. Whoa, easy, buddy. I think that rooster tail's the answer today. I'm struggling to catch them on the net. Well, rock bass. That's all I can catch on the Ned rig. And then rooster's been bringing me random stuff. I guess I pulled that bass on the Ned rig down there.
I think I caught the other smallmouth. I think I caught the smallmouth bass and the largemouth bass that goes around the net.
In this video's breaking down the bait, we're talking about the 6th Sense Divine Swim Bait. So 6th Sense was established back in 2008, the year I graduated high school, by Casey Sobczak, who in 2005 won ESPN's first National Collegiate Championship. So the story goes, following that win, Casey started airbrushing his own crankbaits, sprucing up old crankbaits, that sort of deal. Turned into a smaller business, and then eventually it just exploded, and the rest is history. At least according to their website. That's where I pulled all this information from. I had no idea before. It was an interesting read. I thought I'd share it with y'all. So if you want to read the full story there, you can go check it out yourselves. Now, let's get into this bait. So the 6th Sense Divine Swim Bait comes in 5 different sizes. Everything from your 2.7 incher, which we were throwing right here, up to a whopper of a paddle tail, man, a giant 5.3 inches, which would probably be a lot of fun to chuck around. That's like a big pike musky bait right there. Anyhow, guys, I have a 3.2 incher right here, so I can show that off to y'all. I've never actually thrown this on the water, but it's got a great action. I have to say, I kind of like that bigger size. I'm gonna have to give that a whirl. So packaging wise, we're working with kind of a standard clamshell right here. It does have a bit of an awkward shape about it, so yeah, this is one that I guess it serves a purpose and it gets its job done. There's a nice little molded place for each paddle tail right now. I'm not gonna harp on the packaging or anything. A lot of these baits come in packs like this for a purpose, to keep your tail from getting all crunched up. And I get it, had a nice little perforated edge on top as well. I thought that was a cool feature. It's fun to kind of rip into it. Anyhow, this is a bait where I just pop the packaging open and I throw them all in my pocket and I just pull them out when I start either snagging up or mashing that bait up too much where I had to fix a new one on there. So lengthwise, I mentioned we were working the 2.7 incher in today's video. The color is Clearwater Rose. I really like that color. It's a good natural look. I gotta say, I like the options. I looked online at all the colors they have on their websites. They got some really cool stuff out there, so a great selection. I'm a big fan of this one. I'm also a big fan of the Pro Shad color, which is very similar. It's just a nice kind of light two-tone off clear, I guess that's what I'd call it. It still pops in your clearer water. And we were working, well, the water was lightly stained in that area, but typically it runs crystal clear, and this color just really gets it done. Weight wise, this is 2.47 grams roughly. I will throw out the roughly. These plastics do tend to vary a fraction of a gram, but you throw in that 1/4 ounce jig head I was working with, and you're sitting somewhere in the ballpark of 8.51 grams. So a good weight to it. I like working on that 1/4 ounce. I can absolutely chuck it out there. This is what we were throwing it on. It doesn't take away from the action of the tail. And sometimes with these finesse paddle tails, you'll run into that issue throwing something heavier like a 1/4 ounce on it. It actually pairs quite well. I would say 1/8 ounce is the golden weight for this, but you can get away with a 1/4 ounce all day long. I do it all the time. So quantity wise, you're gonna be working with a 10 pack for the 2.7 size, which is super generous. I did realize, and I didn't do too much research in this, I probably should have, I'm just kind of recognizing that. Right now, however, the 3.2 size only comes with 7 baits. I'm imagining this probably follows suit up to your 5.3. I don't know how many that packaging is gonna come up with. If you wanna know, check out their website. I'm sure they have that detailed right there. However, kind of makes sense there. Price-wise, we're working with $4.99. It seemed pretty well-rounded. Again, I only checked the price of these smaller baits. I'm imagining the larger the bait gets, you're probably paying a little more. However, $4.99 for 10 paddle tails, that's a pretty stellar deal in my book. It's kind of hard to beat, especially with the quality of this bait. So I did check a variety of websites. Straight up, 6 cents, $4.99. Your Fish USA, Tackle Warehouse, Bass Pro Shop, all the heavy hitters out there, it was $4.99. I'm imagining you could probably find a deal in store, possibly. I don't really know. Anyhow, 10 baits, $4.99. That's a steal, man. Durability wise, the bait was durable enough. I mean, it got it done, it gets it done. There's a reason I continue to buy these baits every spring and every fall for smallies. It's because they just get it done. There are no mega issues when it comes to durability, no notable issues. It's like your standard soft plastic. I'm just gonna put it that way. Yes, if you reset this bait several times, you're gonna start getting a little bit of slippage. It happens. Also, you're gonna get a little bit of rippage when you hit some either heavy snags or big fish, but that's something I'm willing to sacrifice for the action and the profile and the coloring of this bait, man. All around awesome bait. So my personal opinion, I really like them. This is a bait that I consistently buy, especially in that creek. We were fishing in just about any creek, man. They shred it. Smaller water, this size paddle tail, this one in particular, it gets it done. This bait holds sentimental value for me. It is my PB breaker, and I'm gonna continue to throw it when my big smallies are running. That's really what I use this bait for. Anyhow, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. I had a great time making this one as always. Be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and I hope y'all are getting some good fish on. Peace.